The package they did on Sami beating Gunther for the Intercontinental title. I'm sad it had to happen, but since it did, is that the NFL Films voiceover guy? Did you hear this? Was that the actual? That's the voice, right?
It may have been. I wasn't paying attention.
This was great. You missed something you should have seen. This was great. This seems to be the new television production chief, the new TV production outlook, and the UFC influence in making these videos where even though this was it's a work, it looked like a goddamn sporting video about a guy fulfilling a quest for a championship. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
And it would talked about also with his help that he got from Chad Gable now in tonight's Intercontinental title match against Chad. And the comments and the music and the whole thing. This was great work. And it's more serious. It's more professional than and I've always said that WWE does good packages. I've always put their studio over and the production people they had underneath Kevin Dunn. When you would, like you know who Dave Sahadi is. David Sahadi was, when they started doing the cold opens with the dramatic voiceovers and the really artfully done video packages back in the 90s Attitude Era for all the big pay-per-views, that was Dave Sahadi. He was writing them. He was supervising the editing. And then, of course, Kevin Dunn made him feel so disrespected and unappreciated that he left and went to TNA and did the same thing there for the middle, late 2000s. A very creative guy. But the point is, they would get guys in the studio, the young video editors and the technicians and whatever, they could do good shit when you basically left them alone and had them come up with something. And then they could show it and run it by Kevin and he'd bless it or whatever and take credit for it. But that's been a strong point of their operation. But now that they're getting these shots live, because where Kevin Dunn was in charge was the overall look of the production and the television show live. Now they're getting younger and more experienced people and more professional people at the top so that they have the pieces to work with on doing stuff like this. And that's why Kevin Dunn, as we've talked about, worked for one company in television production for one company his entire life from the time he was a teenager. So what great jarring revelations in television in between 1984 and 2024 was he on the cutting edge of, right? And so now they've replaced that. And anyway, I think that was a piece of work. You ought to go out of your way to try to see that, as the kids say. The new style of videos they're doing. And then they went back to the old style shit.